Well, Barrios, do you think he beats Barrios?
Don't matter if he beats Barrios or not. Still Rolly Pacquiao. How many losses does Pacquiao have? Oh, that's another thing, bro. Pacquiao another one that don't give a about losses, and everyone keep tuning in for him, right?
Take a chance every time to knock him out. If you ever hurt him, finish him. But meanwhile, just sit back and box and do your thing.
It has to be financial. I mean, any fighter that comes back, especially from retirement, a guy like Manny Pacquiao, it definitely has to do with money.
Manny Pacquiao's comeback at 46 is stirring up controversy. Floyd Mayweather says it's a big mistake that could hurt Pacquiao's legacy and thinks it's sad he's still fighting at his age. Critics worry Pacquiao is more motivated by money than competition.
Whereas Pacquiao, at his age, which is sad that he has to fight.
Romero says it doesn't matter if Pacquiao beats Barrios. He's already a legend who doesn't care about winning or losing. Romero also hinted he'd like to fight Pacquiao next.
Which fighters actually fought?
Rolly Pacquiao.
Well, Barrios, do you think he beats Barrios?
Don't matter if he beats Barrios or not. Still Rolly Pacquiao. How many losses does Pacquiao have? Oh, that's another thing, bro. Pacquiao another one that don't give a about losses, and everyone keep tuning in for him, right? Bro, all that undefeated, that don't mean shit if you're not fighting nobody. Nobody gives a about you.
Roy Jones Jr. praised Manny Pacquiao's legendary career, saying the Filipino icon has nothing left to prove. He believes Pacquiao's accomplishments speak for themselves and questions why he's returning to the ring now. While Jones respects Pacquiao, he thinks a comeback at this point is unnecessary.
Fighter of the decade, 1990s. Passing on the torch to Manny Pacquiao, fighter of the 2000s.
Right.
Any advice tonight for him?
Just be smart. Don't get overly aggressive. Try to be smart with your aggression. Take your shots when you can, but don't go out there to just strictly knock him out. Just outbox him like you did last time. And when you get chances, take chances every time to knock him out. If you ever hurt him, finish him. But meanwhile, just sit back and box and do your thing. You have nothing to prove to him.
Any advice for any children and youth on the benefits of sports, not smoking in general? What would you say to them?
No smoking, no drinking, party lightly. Always keep your own mind. That's how I got to where I am now. I always keep my own mind. No smoking, no drinking, no drugs. Stay in your own mind. In your own mind, then you can make your own choices and decisions the proper way. Give yourself the best chance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Salamat. Thank you.
Tim Bradley is skeptical about Manny Pacquiao's comeback, suggesting it's more about money than love for the sport. He pointed out that fighters returning from retirement often face financial troubles. Bradley also warned that Barrios, being young and in his prime, could dominate Pacquiao and potentially deliver a brutal ending to the legend's career, raising serious concerns about whether this fight should even happen.
Pacquiao getting back in the ring again for a world title fight.
Well, obviously, you know, it has to be pertaining to any kind of money. You know, it has to be financial. I mean, any fighter that comes back, especially from retirement, a guy like Manny Pacquiao, it definitely has to do with money. One, two, I think Manny Pacquiao, I think his C game is a lot better than anybody, a lot of guys' A game, even with the age. But you have to take into account the last time he stepped foot in that ring against Ugas. You know, he didn't look good. He was outmatched by, you know, a younger fighter. Barrios is no slouch. Barrios is a young fighter, you know, bigger fighter, knows how to, you know, control distance very well, can punch a little bit. Like, he's no easy task for anybody in the welterweight division. And for Manny to come back after this long and to face a young guy like that is dangerous. And sometimes, you know, these old legends, they got to get beat up several times before they call it quits. You know, that Ugas fight, I don't know if it was enough for Pacquiao. That's why he's coming back. But Barrios, he can he can finish Pacquiao. There's a possibility that he can finish Pacquiao and basically cause him to go back into retirement once again. But again, what they say, the last thing that leaves is the power. If Manny got any of that power still left in him, if he lands that left hand, he can hurt the young gun. So, but that's easier said than done.
Yeah, I actually think he can beat Barrios.
Combat analyst Ryan Campbell weighed in on Manny Pacquiao's surprising return, noting the unusual matchup of a 46-year-old against a younger champ like Mario Barrios. He compared it to George Foreman's legendary comeback, suggesting age can sometimes shock us. Campbell acknowledged the doubts, but said boxing history has shown that even aging fighters can find one last spark for a memorable night, leaving room for a miracle.
Only 8-division world champion. He'll be inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame next month. And then in July, BC is going to come out of retirement. Why now?
By the way, between those two dates, I believe he has an election coming up for a Senate position in the Philippines. So we always know that Manny is a busy man. He gets after it. He also dares to be great. And this is wild news. Look, in the boxing underground rumor mill, this had been floating around for a couple months. We just didn't know if it was going to be for real. Was Manny really going to commit to not just coming back after 4 years away, after just one fight in the last 6 years, at age 46, but to come back directly into a title fight against a young, in his prime, active champion, Mario Barrios? It's interesting theater, to say the least. It's a pay-per-view main event, reportedly for July 19th. And we know Manny Pacquiao has always brought big business, but now he's going to bring it in more of the late career George Foreman type of way to etch himself into that record book even further. Can Manny do it? I mean, look, the odds are certainly against him, but there's one thing about certain legends in this game. Think Bernard Hopkins, who fought into a very late age. Some of them, as long as they can physically get themselves into that ring, sometimes they can reproduce magic for one night. So it's a romantic situation. I got cats walking around.
Yep.
People are excited to see the Pac-Man back. You just got to kind of figure out, is this for real? Is he going to be for real? Or are we going to send him into a physical, violent retirement?
Ryan Campbell also weighed in on Pacquiao's current form, noting that despite being well past his prime, he still has the speed to keep up with many average fighters today. While he's not as explosive as before, his agility and hand speed remain impressive, especially against less polished welterweights. Recent training footage has fueled the debate. In a short clip, Pacquiao looked sharp, throwing rapid punches and moving with flashes of the rhythm that once confused elite opponents.
Right? He hasn't fought in 4 years. What makes you think he's got a chance against the much younger, the 29-year-old Mario Barrios?
Look, I'm not saying the odds will be high that he's going to come back and pull this upset or even be ultra competitive. But again, it's sort of like Manny's already superhuman. Turning pro at like age 15 or 16 at 106 pounds and winning titles in 8 divisions. And oh, by the way, 2 fights ago for Manny in 2019, he came out of retirement and beat an unbeaten Keith Thurman for the welterweight title at the age of 40. There's very few greats that you can call all-time greats, and I think sometimes even above that category, there's that upper room. Is Manny Pacquiao one of those in boxing history? Sure. But let's look at a couple things. The last thing to go is power, yes. Manny was also absurdly fast in his prime. So like a Roy Jones Jr. who hung on far too long, but was still fighting professionally at the age of 50, he still got speed that kind of compares to the average or above average speed that's out there today.
Here's the full version with a compelling call to action. Ryan Campbell also weighed in on Pacquiao's current form, noting that despite being well past his prime, he still has the speed to keep up with many average fighters today. While he's not as explosive as before, his agility and hand speed remain impressive, especially against less polished welterweights. Recent training footage has fueled the debate. In a short clip, Pacquiao looked sharp, throwing rapid punches and moving with flashes of the rhythm that once confused elite opponents. Asterisk, asterisk. Will Pacquiao's comeback be a legendary final act or a costly mistake? Stay tuned for more updates and analysis. Don't forget to subscribe for the latest boxing news and exclusive insights. Would you like it to sound even more urgent or leave it as is?